May 17th, 1752. I truly adore my family's villa. I cannot believe I'm going to spend the entire summer here with my mother. How she received father's permission I will never know. Then again, Lucia engaged and father occupied with his work. There was little for us to do back at home. The roses in the garden are as red as I remember. It appears that Marcel is quite a dedicated gardener. I wish father paid him more, given the splendid work he's doing. But I digress. Father knows best. We just settled in, and I decided to quickly document my arrival. But other than that, the next couple of days will probably be very uneventful. May 19th, 1752. I just came back from my afternoon walk. Everything here is as beautiful as I remember. The endless fields of golden wheat, the small yet populated town, and the crystal stream that runs close to it. Granted, my mother insisted I bring Marcel along. He is a very hard-working man, but I am not too fond of him following me everywhere I go. He also restrained me from going into town, saying something about an illness that has fallen upon the people. Good thing the villa is far away from it. I do not wish to ruin my stay here by succumbing to sickness. Poor townsfolk. They were always so generous towards my family. I pray for their health. I've got to go now. Mother's preparing for dinner. May 22nd, 1752. My enthusiasm is fading at a rapid pace. Marcel convinced my mother to forbade me from straying too far from the property, giving me little space to explore. I wish I could go and visit the town, maybe explore the markets. You never know what you might find on some of the stands. Moreover, I might even find some handsome farmer boy with sun-tanned skin and curly black locks. As if my father will allow it. I am to be given to a man high of a stature, he would often say. I cannot describe how tired I am of powdered men with riches, looking to buy me off as some sort of object, only so I can bear them another spoiled offspring. I think I shall read another book, as there is so little due here. May 24th, 1752. For the past few days I've been doing nothing but staring at the lifeless furniture. I feel like I'm becoming a decorative piece myself. At least back home there was someone to talk to. May 25th, 1752. I cannot take it anymore. I spent all day wandering the empty halls, and to add to that, the only company I have is his nosy Marcel. Each time I set foot out of the manor, he is always there, waiting with his crooked smile to accompany me on a short walk. At least I found an interesting book to read. It lacked a title, and it was stored far in the back, as if someone had tried to purposely keep it away from plain view. The pages are stuck together, it's dusty, and some of the letters are simply too faded to be readable. But it's quite interesting. Who knew people around here were so superstitious? May 27th, 1752. I feel so guilty, yet proud of myself at the same time. Last night, as the sun fell, I tiptoed down the lobby and escaped my cage through an open window. I couldn't risk using the creaky doors. Marcel would surely hear the noise. That night I snuck through the wheat and got closer to the town. The people didn't appear sick, gloomy maybe, but certainly not ill. I wonder where all the women were. I saw many men roaming the streets, going about their business, but no women in sight. Then again, smaller towns were still quite conservative. Maybe they were simply not allowed to go outside after a certain time. I thought about revealing myself, but then I recalled that Marcel knew everybody in this town, and someone would have surely notified him of my presence, which would result in me having even less freedom. May 28th, 1752. Thankfully, my mother and Marcel are still as clueless as ever. I am as sly as the fox in the night, I suppose. Tomorrow I might try sneaking out once more, but for now I shall appear as obedient child they want me to be. This book is really quite unique. It tells a story of this place, going back to ancient times and describing how vital this area was as a trade center for the economy of Roman Empire. It's hard to imagine that I am currently standing on the ruined foundations of a whole massive district, once populated by thousands of merchants and vendors. I wonder what happened to it. May 29th, 1752. This morning I heard Mother and Marcel arguing. I didn't understand much of what they were saying. Mother was quite harsh. Later I understood that she was heading into town, eager to meet a few of her old friends. I was quite irritated that she was able to leave whenever she desired, and I was not. Marcel had overstepped his boundaries, trying to convince her not to go as well. But even after he pleaded with my mother's decision was final. She informed me that she was going to be back soon and departed, leaving me alone with the lifeless furniture and Marcel. May 30th, 1752. Each day is more dull than the last. I must find something to do before I lose my mind. Perhaps I could read a few more pages. June 1st, 1752. It is late, and Mother's been away for almost 3 days now. I would like to say I'm not concerned, but I am. Marcel has been glued to the windows for the last day, taking breaks from his watch. Only the most basic of bodily functions. Different, unnerving scenarios are beginning to play out in my mind involving my mother. I just pray and hope that she is safe. June 4th, 1752. Mother is still missing. Marcel assured me that he had contacted the popular authorities and that they should be arriving in a few days. I just hope I don't die from worry until then. All I've been doing for the past couple of days is pacing around the halls like a forsaken patrol, waiting for Mother's voice to ring in my ears as she announces her return. As I walk, I start to pay more attention to the details around me, details that I wouldn't normally just glance over. Paintings aligning to corridors, for one thing, between many portraits of my grandmother, which were to be expected, stood quite grotesque in pieces of art. Some displayed people running through crimson-coated streets, trying to escape from some unseen entity. Others displayed corpses gutted and piled one over the other, forming a hill of rotting flesh. It was also worth noting that every single victim was a woman. Come to think of it, I rarely saw men in any of the paintings. A shiver ran down my spine. To think these were here all along, and neither I or my mother noticed them. They remind me of something. June 5th, 1752. I never would have suspected that my father's beloved villa was erected over a land with such disturbing secrets. After some thought, I recalled the gruesome paintings reminded me of. Some of the images were featured in the faded pages of the aforementioned mysterious book I expressed interest in. As I skipped through the pages, I found all I was looking for. Apparently this place was known to a house of very demented cult, which believed that destructive phenomenon that levels previous ancient city to the ground could only be appeased by performing ritual sacrifices. They named the entity Chimera, and would occasionally draw the blood of woman in its name, supposedly feeding it. The book states that cult was eradicated by the Pope a long time ago, yet I cannot deny the lack of womanly presence I witnessed in the town. I just hope Mother comes back soon. June 6, 1752. I just can't stand here and do nothing. My mother's out there, possibly in danger. I care little for what Marcel says. I'm going out to find her. June 7th, 1752. Of all the nerve! I cannot believe that goon locked me in my own room. Early this morning, I finally gathered the courage to leave and look for Mother. Little did I know, Marcel had locked all the possible exits. When I demanded to be released, he simply dragged me to my room and locked me there. Does he realize his place? At least he did not bolt the single window I had the height from. Here is too great for another silent escape. Now what am I going to do? June 9th, 1752. She is dead. June 10th, 1752. I'm terrified. I don't want to die. Not like that. Never like that. Yesterday, 2 men arrived at our doorstep. The tall and lanky one carried a pitchfork, which he threateningly waved around as he yelled profanities that I shall avoid quoting. Then he called out to Marcel, who I haven't seen for days. Even he brings me food. He does so while I sleep. He looks through the curtains of my bedroom's window. My eyes focused on the more muscular man, or rather, on what he carried under his arm. It was a large wooden barrel, rotten and covered in moss. I could hear Marcel skittering around on the first floor, but he did not respond to the man's aggressive taunts. And satisfied the lack of response, the skinny man ordered for the barrel to be placed down and opened. His companion did as he was asked, placing it next to him and yanking off the lid. It was at this point that unshakable feeling of dread overtook me, as if my body was preparing for what I was about to witness, urging me to look away. I didn't. The rude skinny man then jabbed whatever's inside of there with his pitchfork, and the smile on his face was insanely wide, a smile only an evil man could produce. When he brought the garden tool up, I saw my mother's decaying head impaled on a point in time. I wanted to look away, but I could not move my gaze from her. Poor, tortured expression, permanently curved on her beaten face. Maggots crawled out her faded eyes, nose, ears, and mouth, eating away at her once caramel skin. She is dead. She is really gone. That bastard waved her head around like it was some sort of trophy. I wanted to go down there, grab that pitchfork, and stick in his wretched heart. Luckily, Marcel had a similar intention. A gunshot was heard, originating from one of the lower windows of the villa. My grandfather's rusty musket, probably. The large man who carried the barrel dropped with a bleeding hole in the middle of his forehead, where the bullet struck. The others seemed furious, yelling out to Marcel, calling him a traitor, and saying it was coming for the quote-unquote little whore, regardless if he was willing to hand me over or not. Then, before he could have said anything more, the skinny one also fell after an ear-piercing bang, dropping the pitchfork with my mother's head still on it. It is safe to say I did not get a single moment of sleep after witnessing that. I also avoided looking out the window, knowing the remains of my dear mother was still lying there on our doorstep. Will I die like that too? June 11th, 1752. I spoke with Marcel today, as expected. He still didn't want to meet me face to face, so we talked through my bedroom door. He assured me that he was going to protect me and that help going to come soon. I wanted to believe him, yet I knew the reality of the current predicament. No one was coming. It was only a matter of time before they returned, knocking at our gates. I asked him about his history with those people and the it they were referring to. He ignored my questions, repeating that I was going to be all right and he was going to protect me. Other than that, I've been laying across my bed all day, detached in complete silence. Marcel was seemingly kind enough to dispose of the dead remains, allowing me to look out the window again without feeling the need to break into tears. Yet the blood still remained, dyeing the spot where the horror took place a dark red color. At least the sunset's nice. June 12th, 1752. I had a very unnerving experience last night. As I was almost asleep, I heard a voice calling out to me. Actually, there were many different ones, varying in pitch and tone, yet somehow synced into one. I can only compare it to a choir of some sort, only less melodic. I have not heard anything, Marcel, which worries me. What is he doing down there, anyway? That's all there is to write about for now. June 14th, 1752. My room is now officially my prison, my own little well-decorated cage. It has been a while since I used my voice. My vocal cords have probably rusted. I don't think there's help coming anytime soon, or ever for that matter. Marcel has been quiet. I can hear him walking down the stairs, but apart from that, I have not spoken to him in 4 days, maybe? Time moves at a snail's pace when there's nothing to pique your interest. I'm probably going mad from being isolated for so long, because I'm starting to hear the voice I mentioned in my last diary entry. Even in my waking hours, I feel like whatever is calling to me is drawing closer. I'm so scared. I am scared. No, I am terrified. Today Marcel came up to my room. He did not enter, of course, but I could hear him weeping and sobbing from outside the door. He kept repeating that he was sorry and that I had to endure. Then he told me that he could not protect me anymore, that the guilt was becoming too much to bear. I tried to fish out some sort of explanation from the mumbling fool, but he just kept repeating, I'm sorry, over and over, lightly banging his head on the door. After a while, I could feel him backing away from the door. His last words to me were, soon it will arrive, tempting you to give yourself over. You must not leave this room no matter what. Remember, it can only take you on its own free will. That's the last I heard from Marcel, and after a few hours, a loud bang echoed across the villa, followed by a muffled thud. I can already imagine him lying across the wooden floor with a bullet in his skull. I'm all alone now. June 18th, 1752. Everything is so quiet. Dust coats the furniture, and webs have formed on the ceiling. I haven't eaten in days. That goon could have at least given me some food before blowing his brains out. I don't have the energy to do anything besides lay on bed, waiting for starvation to eventually be the end of me. I tried bringing down the door, but the wood was much too resistant. The voice is getting louder, more excited. June 20th, 1752. I ate a spider today. It was repulsive, but it did provide me with some nourishment. Yes, it was a rather large spider. Good thing it rained today as well. My water supply is at an end. Although I did almost fall through the window when I was attempting to gather the drops. A fall like that would have surely shattered my frail body. I haven't been able to sleep well. The voice bombards my mind constantly, and I think I'm beginning to make out what it is trying to say. Come to me. June 21st, 1752. I am going to die here, aren't I? I've already accepted this cruel fact as I gathered the courage to look at the mirror today. I saw nothing more than a skeleton with a coat of flesh. The lack of food and sleep is naturally taking its toll. I wonder if I live long enough to see whatever's coming for me. Maybe that was Marcel's plan all along. June 23rd, 1752. Voices. Loud. Too loud. It hurts. June 25th, 1752. It's here! It's actually here, and it's magnificent. I woke up today and immediately directed my gaze towards the window. I saw it looming over the horizon, a colossal formation of beauty and grace. I dragged my pale body across the dusty floor, crawling over to the window. I felt the sun rush in. It made me smile. Then I saw it standing on the field of golden wheat, roughly as tall as the mansion itself, a fusion of feminine bodies, aligned to form a giant arachnid. Intestines binding them together, keeping the whole construction from collapsing, each body fitting with the other like a piece in the puzzle, contributing to its living artwork. It is still standing there as I write this, calling out to me with a voice sweet as honey, thousands of faces smiling in my direction, patiently comforting me. I want to be one of them. I want to join them, be part of something greater. That way I'll finally matter. My sorry existence will finally serve some higher purpose. I'm sorry, Marcel, but such opportunities only graze a few. I must go now. I just hope I'll have the strength to climb through the window and out of this prison. I think I might have just